I want to do an episode about a topic that came to my mind a few days ago. I've definitely been in reflection mode, partly probably because my birthday's coming up and I want to think about where I'm at in life. I always view, for me, my birthday as my check-in point from the goals that I've set for myself for the year. See how many I've accomplished, what am I on the path to accomplishing more, and what kind of things I need to readjust to try to get as many of the goals completed before the end of the year. Because August, we got September, October. Oh, damn. Well, we only got 4 months left. I was about to say 6, but I don't know why. But nevertheless, you still got time before the end of the year. And obviously, I do things in 6 month span because I think that's just more realistic. My next goal, I've created a budget for myself and working on how I can make a purchase that I want, which is the next goal for me. But anyway, besides that, because I have that goal in mind, it's just checking in with myself to see my progress and what's the next steps for me. And something that came to my mind was I saw something on TikTok about divine timing, and I'll post a video, but it's similar to what I've said before on here, that everything happens in divine timing. As long as you're doing your part, everything's gonna come together. The thing as far as your part is believing in the manifestations that you manifest for yourself and surrendering and letting God bring to your life what he feels is necessary according to the plan that he has for your life. And then something, I believe it was a post that I saw about, she was talking about relationships, but it's something came to my mind in the sense of I don't know if you've heard, there's a saying that I've heard about currency. Our currency with God is time. And something that came to my mind was am I respecting the currency that God has given me, which is time? And in the sense definitely of my manifestations, until the manifestations come about into my life, am I wasting my time in the sense of waiting around for these manifestations and consistently saying, I just want these things to come, versus still appreciating the fact that I'm here. I have this time. God has given me more time to do other things in my life and just be here. And similar to what I was saying before in another episode, appreciating the now until you get to where you want to be. So, but also when you just respecting your time in the sense of not allowing yourself to give energy and your time to people who don't reciprocate in the same way, who don't show up for you the way you need them to, who aren't there for you. Sometimes it's hard letting go. And actually, let me read the quote first before. She says, this is on Twitter. She said, when you start to realize how much time and energy you've poured into working really hard at making a lukewarm connection last, or a mediocre opportunity be a good fit, and you could have just let go, stepped into flow, and let the things meant for you show up, you'll learn quick. When you're passionate and committed, you're capable of making almost anything work. You can sacrifice and bear so much for the sake of completion, appearance, ego, etc. But when you're doing all that just to be unhappy in your heart, what's the point? Release and make room. And that could be, I'm assuming she was speaking on relationships, but that could be also, like she said, an opportunity, which could be a job. You get to, you think you want a job, and then when you really get into it, you're like, oh, this is not for me. But then you kind of have that little bit of guilt with dang, this is what I worked for, so maybe I'm not giving it a chance, and you try to make it work. And I just think that this made me think of time. Like she said, like if you're spending all this time like trying to make this relationship work or friendship, or you're talking in this talking stage and like there's maybe one person putting in more effort than the other, or one person wants something and the other person doesn't, but you've kind of already, like she said, you've become passionate and committed to what you want from this person. It's not going to make you happy. And I think sometimes when stuff like that happens, something's not working out, rather than focusing on the other person or the opportunity itself and why is it not working, you can kind of take it as like a boomerang effect to bounce back to you. Like, okay, this isn't working, but what can I do to make it work for myself? And whether that be, catering more to you and the things that you're trying to do for somebody else, do it for you. And I feel like when you are doing more for yourself and you caring for yourself, you radiate that self-love, and then you're going to attract the right things and right people and the right opportunities. And I've said this before, I'm pretty sure, on the podcast, but also just getting back to like over what I started out saying about like time and currency. And, I think a lot of times we hear time is money, and time is money, don't get me wrong, but it's also like time is priceless. That's one thing there's no way to get that back. You can't go back. We can't go back to yesterday. Like yesterday I had a great day. I did a lot of fun stuff. I went to a fair and stuff like that with my mom, and we had a really great time, but I could never go back and get that. And that's why it's important to be in the now, enjoy it for what it is, take pictures, video, whatever, and just enjoy where you are, because time is that's one thing we can never get back. And I think it's for a reason, because it just makes you more appreciative of being able to have time. And I think that where people mess up with time and being respectful to God, I think as far as like currency, is when you think you have all the time in the world. And I think with that, you have to learn how to balance taking your time and letting things be, but also not wasting your time and staying in situations or relationships or just environments that are not beneficial to your growth and beneficial to your purpose here. Eventually we're all going to have time that runs out. And I know for me, something that I've been reflecting on, I would hate to, and what I believe, obviously you don't know for sure, but I think that something that I've seen before was like when we pass, you have the opportunity to see the life that you lived on earth, but then you also get the chance to see the life that God wanted you to live. And I think for me, I definitely don't want those two lives not to match up. And when you have that mindset, you have to be willing to sacrifice, and you have to be willing to let things go, no matter how much you think that this person or thing or whatever, or this goal should be a part of your life. You should desire God's plan for you more, because that's, to me, operating in your soul purpose versus in your ego, right? Because our ego is like, no, like, I want to be married at this age, and I want to have kids at this age, and I want to buy a house, and I want to have this job at this salary, and everything will be la la la, fairies and roses or whatever, right? But we all know, like, life is not like that all the time. There's a lot of bumps and obstacles, and things that happen when you're like, yo, why, what we doing? You know what I mean? I know for me, I have those type of conversations with God where I'm like, hey, yo, what's going on? Like, what are we doing here? And another thing that I saw a post was like, you have to realize that when we have obstacles, or when God is redirecting you or making you wait, or just however your life is going, and you're feeling like, all right, God, I don't understand this. You have to understand that God knows you, and He knows you better than you know yourself. He knows what you're going to be doing years from now. He knows what you're going to do when you wake up. He knows all this stuff. Like, something I saw like that I'd never thought about, and I didn't really know. Well, I mean, I guess I could kind of know, but like someone was saying how God knows everything about you. He knows how many hairs are in your head. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, we as humans will never know how many hairs are in our head, or how many eyelashes, hairs we have, or something like that. Or, the lines on your hand, like stuff like that. Just God knows every detail about you because God created you. And so for me, it's like just being way more grateful and appreciative for life and my life. That there are so many things that I wanted so badly in my life, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, thank God I don't have that right now. Because honestly, getting back to what I was saying about the video that the girl said, a lot of the times, if you think about it, if you had all the things that you are manifesting and praying for and you want right now, you would fumble the bag, bro. Like, you can't say, I can admit, I would have fumbled it. And maybe I wouldn't have completely fumbled it, but I definitely would be feeling like, this is too much. Too much is going on. I can't do all this. You know what I'm saying? So just learning to, as hard as it can be, just be patient. You're where you need to be. And the more you are grateful for time that God has given you, whether it be to be more close to God. And, sometimes like when you're in your single season and you're like, I'm ready to be in a relationship, but God doesn't have that for you. And it can be frustrating, but I think, it's something that it's more time with God. God wants more time with you. Maybe He's trying to build your character more, or just really help you get to where He needs you to be. And so just being appreciative of that, and talking to God more, and, starting to just take care of yourself more, and walk in the purpose that you want, that, you feel that God has for you. And whether that be just taking care of yourself physically, doing more workouts, exercising, mental health, meditating, seeking therapy, working through your stuff. Because a lot of us, if you think about it, a lot of us people my age and our generation, we are the ones that are breaking generational curses within our families and generational traumas and stuff. So that alone is a lot of work and a lot of weight to have on us, and it's gonna take time. And I know for me, when I go into the next phases of my life of being a parent and being a wife and stuff like that, or just being in a relationship and just being in someone's company, no one's going to be ever completely healed, but you want to bring your best self, right? And not even just relationships, but in a job too, like your dream career and stuff, and your dream salary. Like, do you have the budgeting skills now with the salary that you have? Because like for me, I feel like that is a reason why I started budgeting last week. Because something was telling me, you got to start doing that. You keep asking for a higher salary and stuff, or this dream salary that you have, but you're not even making sure you're budgeting with the one that you do have. And so you got to stop and think sometimes, and see how God is working in your life, and preparing you for things. Because it'll be the little things like that. Like, you just get a spark to, I got to start budgeting, or I got to start working out. I got to start eating healthier. That could be a way that God, or, the angels and stuff, or universe, whatever you want to say, is nudging you, because they're trying to prevent you from potentially having health issues in the future, or you're heading down a path where you might end up developing the same health issues that run in your family, right? But just putting that, spark in your head to be like, I gotta work out. I gotta start eating healthier, that is a way to divert that. So it's just paying attention to the signs and just, be more intentional with your time. Don't let anybody waste your time. Don't let anybody suck you of your energy. Don't let anybody, and I say, obviously, nothing is a waste of time, but, and maybe I shouldn't use that terminology, because I should probably stop saying that, because something that I used to say a lot of times, like wasting of time, but more so, just be clear on what you want to do with your time, and only allow yourself to be around people who are on the same time and who respect what it is that you want to do with your time, if that makes sense. Because when you are like that, like, okay, I want these things to happen, or I'm only interested in this type of relationship, I'm only interested in this type of friendship, I'm only interested in this type of environment where people around me are getting money and they're successful and they're business owners, or they're entrepreneurial, or whatever it is, right? Or these people work out a lot and they're healthy, and that's the type of people I want to be around. That's how I want to spend my time. That's where I want to invest my time. That's what I mean by being intentional, and in the sense of maybe not wasting their time, but allowing people into that time circle that you are creating for yourself that aren't on the same page. And it's not, I don't feel like it's being mean. It's just like, yo, this is where I'm at. This is the time that I'm on. I'm on this time of, I work out 5 days a week. I budget my money. I am only moving with intention, whether it be friendships or relationships. I have a goal to become a business owner in this amount of years. I have a goal to buy a house. I have a goal to be a parent. I have a goal to get married. I have a goal to whatever, travel this many times a year, whatever those goals are. Be so firm in that there's no way that someone would even try to come in and be like, oh, let me see if I can still scheme and try. Like, nah, like they're going to be so, I don't want to say intimidated, but they're going to be so clear on like, yo, this person is serious about this. So there's no way I can even fit in to potentially even throw them off, like just being so set on your goals and your time and how you use it and how you, try so hard to align with what God wants for you. And I think that's a part of it. That's my main point of trying to say is like, you just try your best to be as aligned as possible in your life. Alignment is going to equal success and happiness that you deserve. And alignment to me is when you are honoring the life that God wants for you, and you're living it, and you're respecting it. You're respecting the fact that God knows what he's doing. You're respecting the fact that God wants the best for you. You're respecting the fact that what you think in your head is going to be great. God has way better than that, right? And so it's letting go of your ego. And just don't wait around on something. Don't wait around on a person. Don't wait around on a thing before you can be happy. There's a lot of that. I guess a lot of this came from just being on like TikTok, and you see so many videos. I know I've seen so many videos of women and men who complain about dating and just, it's bad. And I just, this girl's like videotaping. Oh, I saw like 2 videos so far, 2 or 3 videos of a girl in her car saying that she got stood up and, like crying and feeling defeated within dating. And don't get me wrong, being stood up sucks. But I I don't know. It's just like, one girl, I will give it to her. She was crying, and then she did like an update. And she's like, yeah, I'm over that. I'm about to just go take myself on a date. And I'll give her that. But even still, like, again, it sucks, but I would never, I don't know. I don't see myself documenting that. like, I don't know. I just feel like some things need to be kept let me not say that, because everyone's life is their own. If you want to share and potentially, somebody else can learn from it, maybe. But I guess my point with that is like, those people with the experiences that they had sucked, but you should, I don't know, just be more valuable of your time. Like, as soon as it happens, like one girl, I don't know what she was on, because she was talking about she was waiting for him for hours. I'm like, what? Nah, we on that, like we used to do in college. You got a 15-minute grace period. After that, I'm making moves. Like, I'm not about to sit around and wait for anybody, because time waits for no man. Okay? And I don't wait for no man. Like, no. If we're supposed to go out to eat and you playing around or you're not responding or whatever, guess what? I'm still going to be at that table about to get my food. Like, I eat whether you're here or not. I'm going to have fun whether you're there or not. Like, you're an addition, honey. You don't make the meal. Like, no, I'm not. Like, I guess my point is, like, why would you sit around in your car and wait for hours and then crying about it? Like, I don't know. To each his own, I guess. But to me, she wasted her time, right? Because that's God-given time, where she could have just given him his grace period. You hit him up if you want to. He didn't respond. Okay. So now what are you going to do? You can, hey, sometimes like situations like that, what I've learned, when you get rejected or people don't show up for you, that's a time to have a praise break, because you say, you know what, God, good looking out, because that could have potentially, if that person showed up and followed through with their intentions that don't match for me, that would have diverted me off my path. So good looking out. Glad you showed yourself out the door earlier than I expected. You know what I mean? Like, you have to start just flipping stuff around and be, conscious of how you using your time. Like, you waiting on someone is not it. You waiting on something to happen is not it. Just live your life and live in it, and all the things that you want to happen will happen in divine time. We don't have access to that. There's nothing that we can do about that. So the only thing you can do is just respect the time that you're given. When you wake up, make a plan for yourself, how your day is going to be. And then even that, you can make a plan, but it doesn't mean it's going to go exactly according to how you want. But if you have an idea of it, then, it just makes it easier to navigate, I suppose. But I don't know. I just think that came to me yesterday, where I was just like, God, I don't want to say pays us, but that's our currency with God. Like, yes, time is money, but time is of the essence. And you gotta be more grateful with the time that you have. You do, just because you think you're gonna live to whatever, you don't know that. And I just don't, like I said, that idea, like I said, I don't want to get to the gates and be like, yo, this is the life that you were supposed to have, but this is the life you chose because you waited on this, or you second guessed this, or I just want to completely surrender my ego to God and just do everything that God wants me to do. Because how can that not be a path where I'm going to be happy? And I feel like when you're not doing that, you're not really trusting God. And obviously it's not easy, because there's no like manual or anything like that. But I feel like when you're in the right place and stuff, and when things are not right for you. That's why we, at least as women, we have a heavy intuition. And I definitely push the idea of like following your intuition, because I feel like it doesn't steer you wrong. You get that gut feeling like something's not right, whether it be, I don't know about this place, or you talking to me, or you telling me the story, and the math ain't mathin', you know what I'm saying? Or you just like, nah, you playing with me and I don't like that. Just something, whatever. Like when you have that intuition, you got to tap in, even if you don't act on it, you can at least say, okay, red flag, something, radar is going off. Let me praise break. Let me talk to God real quick. God, what's up with this? Cause that's what I've been doing. Like before somebody even gets my time, I'm tapping in like, all right, God, I met this person. What's the deal? And that is how I talk to God. And he knows what's up. Like he's cool with that, but, because like I said, God knows you, so, and, that's another thing that just came into my head. God knows you, right? So that's why like some people, I'm sure if someone from like a heavy religious person or something be like, you can't talk to God like that. Like, first of all, I can talk to God like that because that's how I am. And God knows that. And that's what I'm saying as far as like this sermon that I saw a clip of. It was like, God is going to respond to who you really are, not to who you are pretending to be. Right. And that's how, and responding in the sense of like your life, right? If you're manifesting and you're praying for all these things, but you're not living and being the person that you really are, God's not going to respond to that. God is going to respond to who you really are. So when you're in your own element and you're being you, that's the time when God can really get to you. And that's when the time when God can actually communicate with you, because that's how you're going to understand. If you're pretending to be somebody else and you're trying to understand what God is saying to you, you're not going to get it because you're not living in you. You're not communicating to God the way that you speak, right? Like I said, I'm a joking person. So that's how I'm going to talk to him. Like, God, what are we doing here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not being disrespectful. It's just, that's how I talk sometimes, so when I'm comfortable with somebody and I'm comfortable with God, so that's how I'm going to talk to him. And that's how, God will send me something back or tell a joke back or something like that. And that's just how we get down, and like that works for me. But that's the best way for me to understand what he has to say. If I'm saying, oh, dear God, please, I don't know. I just, I don't know where I was going with that, but I guess my point is that when I'm not being myself, not in my element, that's when I'm trying to do what I think I'm supposed to do versus who I truly am and being in me, in my own element. I get two different results. When I'm trying to be what, society is telling me I should be or how I should be manifesting or whatever, that's when I'm still confused. Like, what? Like, I'm like, God, I'm not understanding what's going on here, but versus like when I just chill in my element, how I'm talking right now, just being like, all right, good morning, God. Like, I'm not really understanding what's going on. Like, what are we doing here? Like I'll laugh about it after, and then just, I'll get a sign or something, and, that's when I'm like, all right, bet, and that's when things like this come to my head where it's like, time is of the essence. And I'm, it's funny. I saw something, this is for women who might be, feeling like you have to rush to get married or have kids and stuff. And it's a myth that they really push on us. Like, yeah, I'm sure not everyone will be able to get pregnant later on in life, but you don't have to do it before 35. Like, the way that, especially if you take care of yourself and stuff like that, like you can have kids after 35. I know that they say like it's less likely and stuff, and things kind of crumble down after that. But I just, like certain things like that, when you see inspirational things like that, it's like, all right, that's a way that God is talking to you too. Like, stop rushing. I don't want to rush it. Like, I've said this before, and the clip that I'm talking about with Rick Ross, where he says, I don't want to move quickly, I want to move correctly. And that's just a mantra that I've really been living by lately. Like, I don't want to move quickly, I want to move correctly. And no, like I said, everything isn't going to be perfect and roses and just la la la. Everything is so grand, right? But if I can at least get to 90%, 95, 98%, in the sense of like dang, I really have everything that I wanted in the right time according to what God had for me, so that I'm not suffering when I'm receiving the manifestations. I rather have it that way. I don't want to rush nothing, because anything that's rushed, it usually doesn't last, and it's not good quality, right? The good quality stuff takes time. The good quality stuff is more expensive because it's better. It's just better, right? And it lasts longer. So I just think that we should, the message I'm trying to convey is just take your time, but at the same time, value your time. Value the time that God has given you every day, and utilize it to the best for your higher self. Don't wait around on someone or something to happen. Go get it. And when I'm saying go get it like with the things that you want, but also put yourself in the space to be able to receive it. Make sure that the things in your life and the way your life is going, that you have the space to receive it. And let God do it how God wants to do it. So I'm not sure what the title of this is going to be. I got to think about that. But overall, I hope that this is helpful. I hope some of it made sense. Got a laugh out of it. I hope that you guys have a great week. If you can, rate and review the podcast. This is the Black Hippie Lounge. I'm your host, Chanel. And as always, meditate, manifest, invest in you, and have a great week. Meditate, manifest, invest in you. Join me on my spiritual journey as I elevate myself and like-minded listeners to a higher level, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for listening. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and I am your host, Chanel.